Welcome back to another episode of Meredyth with a Y. I am your host, Meredyth Willits, and today we have Dr. Ebru on. She is an internationally recognized immunologist, molecular scientist, and founder of Avecina, the first skincare brand to focus on defending against signs of inflammaging, low-grade chronic inflammation that accelerate.
You got
Hello, everyone. This is Meredyth with a Y, and I am your host, Meredyth Willits. Today, we are going to go deep, changing lives, and I am giving you the keys to the castle.
You're mute.
My microphone is giving me trauma today. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to talk to you about this.
I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, and
Hi,
of course,
everybody.
I can't hear you either.
Oh, you can't hear me?
I have no idea I swear.
Now you're muted.
What is happening? I have no idea. Let me see if I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Nope, you've been kicked off. We might have to start over. I'm not sure because I can't hear you.
Okay.
Let me remove you and I'll bring you back. And let's try it again. Are you there?
Yes, I am here.
There we go. Thank you so much for being here. We got to have some technical difficulties on a Monday morning. It wouldn't be that without it.
Thank you. I mean, it's great to be here. Is it Mercury retrograde? Hope not. It feels like it never ends, right? With Mercury.
Seriously. So you are an immunologist.
Yes.
Who has been studying for, 25 years now?
Yeah, I was looking at my CV today. I think I'm hitting 30 now.
Wow.
I know, right? Time flies.
And how did you get into deciding that you wanted to focus on skincare?
Well, that's a little personal story. Everybody has this personal story, right? I had really bad cystic acne, and it started happening during PhD. PhD is very stressful, because you have to come up with a subject no one has studied before. And on top of that, you have to have two subjects just in case one of them doesn't work. And also there's money problems. Research never works. You're there 24 hours a day. And of course you break out. So my breakouts were really bad because usually acne breaks out, as a whitehead, and then it releases the inflammation. Mine stayed in, and it was on my chin. And God, it hurt so much. So at one point I went to the doctor, and it was, school's doctor, and I went there. It was like, oh, I think you have something going on with your lymph nodes. You might have cancer. I'm like, what are you talking about? My lymph nodes are not here. Lymph nodes are way back there. And of course, I called my mom. She's a pathologist, oncologist. And when you're 20, 25, you freak out. I was like, Mom, do I have cancer? She was like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You're fine. Then I went back home. We went to the dermatologist and all that. So one of the big factors that I was getting it was stress, right? However, the other factor was bad skincare. Very bad skincare. And believe me, I spent the money. I mean, when you're a student, you don't have enough money. Every dime counts. And I invested the money. I put it on the credit card because you're desperate, It made it worse. And one of these brands was this minty green packaging. I'm not going to say names. And that was for acne prone skin, oily skin and all that. And back in that day, around 2000s, everybody was saying, if you have acne prone skin, oily skin, you can't use oily products. That was so far from the truth, because as you start using less and less oily products, real good essential fatty acids, your skin would say, you're drying me out. I'm going to produce more oil. You break out more. And I was using this skincare, and one morning I woke up and my skin looks kind of gray, dull, gray, weird. And I'm like, what's going on? And my husband looked like, whoa, like Keanu Reeves kind of role. He's like, you look gray. I'm like, go away. So I went to work/school, And everybody's looking at my face. I was like, you look weird. And my professor's like, you look weird. I was like, stop it. I know I look weird because this stupid skincare. So that's how I started reading into this, because all these big conglomerates, huge, huge, they have tons of money, tons. And it didn't have half of the science, 1/4 of the science I was expecting as a consumer and as a scientist. Like, you have all this money and you put one hero ingredient in there and then say, oh, I have manuka honey. And then you look at the ingredient list, it's way at the end.
Yeah.
And you're selling me stuff that is not going to work, and empires have been built on this. And we believed them for years. And that's how I decided to go into skincare and read. And because we have PubMed, all the publications are there, all scientific publications. We have all the information. So that's how I got into skincare and cosmetic formulation, and how the immune system is impacting the skin, and how a product can impact you in the other way. Like, you put it on, how does it talk to the immune system? That's how I got in. I was kind of mad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we are definitely not at a loss in this country or world of skincare products.
No.
We are not at a loss. We are, however, like you're saying, at a loss of skincare products that actually have active ingredients that actually do something, and what they actually do is not make it worse. I will say, I just was on your website because I love kind of perusing the meat and potatoes of a person and like what they stand for. And I will say, of all the years of doing this and all the years of being alive, I have never gone to a website that has an actual, like, I can get a consultation with you for skincare. Like, what?
Yeah, you can. I mean,
I was like, wait a minute. I can actually talk to this woman about my skincare needs and get in a one-on-one appointment with her, and she's going to tell me what I need.
Yeah. And if we don't have the product you need, I'll try to help you find something else, because skincare, yes, we have a company. Yes, we would love to have a profit. Who doesn't? Because I want to keep on offering the science that we have. But at the end of the day, it's about the ethics. It's about the good energy. And I believe that, by the way. And if you're not happy with one of the products, or one of them is not working for you, we can sit down and say, okay, this is not working. Why it's not working? Is there something else behind it? Or would you like something else? We don't have, for example, sunscreen. You saw that. Because everybody's sunscreen is their own holy grail. Once you find something that works for you, you don't want to change it. I totally get it. I do the same thing. That's why we come up with that equipment. You probably saw it on the website, which is the UV Shield Facial Analyzer, because I wanted people to see, am I applying this correctly? Am I completely covered? Is my kid covered? Is my kid protected? Because I have a 4-year-old. I have to, and she's so pale. I'm like, I'm olive kind of skin. She's like Snow White kind of skin. She's like her father. So she gets sunburned fast. So I needed something that showed me, yes, the sunscreen works, because it's an invisible thing. There's another way to say it. If you're not sunburned in the middle of the day, yes, it's working. But would you want to risk that? I don't want to risk that. Not with her, you know? So those kind of things. So ethics is the most important thing to me. Scientific truth is, because everybody's talking about so much BS, and none of us is rich enough to buy BS, pseudoscience, greenwashed skincare, or any product for that matter. We have that enough in our lives these days, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it's shelf after shelf.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I will tell you, like, just like, let's say going to Walgreens, you're picking up a lip gloss or whatever. I will walk by the skincare products and I'm just like, it just feels like chemical on top of chemical on top of chemical, with pretty packaging, a great font, lots of advertising dollars behind it. And what I'm seeing, because I have 2 younger daughters, I know you've you just said you've been through it. I've been through it, where you're spending hundreds of dollars to buy the wrong product over and over again, investing thousands of dollars to try to get it to work. And then it doesn't work. And then, I mean, how many of us have like the 3/4 filled bottles of shit I mean, eye stuff to moisturizers to sun products, and they're all 3/4 full because it didn't work out and we tried. And your products are a little higher end than what you're going to find at the local drugstore. But what you're saying is but what's in it actually does something.
Yeah, it does. Here's the thing. If you buy cheap products, you get cheap results.
Yeah.
Okay. However, there's a very thin line here. If you go and buy an overpriced Chanel bag, which was $7,000 before COVID, now it's like $20,000 or something, that's too much too. Anything extreme, anything too cheap is bad. Anything too expensive is too bad. Because if it's too expensive, that means two things. And it's a big company, let's say. They're making tons of profit. And all that money, half of it is going to marketing and pretty packaging and all the girls you see, okay? If you're doing too cheap, where are they cutting it from? I mean, you can only buy ingredients in bulk for so much.
Yeah.
Where are you cutting it from? What are they sacrificing from you on your behalf, on your dime? So that makes it important. So you need to find the middle ground, the scientific ground that really works, that gives you the guarantees, that you have a person you can talk to. I want to have a person to talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you go to a, let's say, high-end store, okay? And this just happened to me. I just got a foundation from Dior, and I love their foundation. They're doing a great job. Bad customer service. Bad customer. I can't find anybody to talk to. I'm emailing, nobody's emailing me back. I'm calling, it's like, guys, there's something wrong with this foundation. It came open. What can we do? Because you're a business owner. You're a huge business owner. I'm tiny compared to you. But I'm calling you to tell you this came bad. How can we fix this? They don't have a clue. None. Wow. I mean, I'm out there giving this money. Yes, it's not big money in their bucket. But okay, we're a luxury house. You're going to pay us and we're going to treat you like crap. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
So let me talk about this word inflammaging, because I've been doing this for a while and I haven't seen that word. I had to go through it and write it out and go inflammaging, make sure I got it before we came on live. And you that's the first time I've seen that word. However, it's in your entire website. So can we talk about what this inflammaging is?
So Inflammaging came out around 2000s in the immunology world. It's from Frank Kasky and their group. He wrote a paper about this explaining what it is in the immunology world. So inflammaging is a combination of two words, inflammation plus aging. So he combined them and made this word, inflammaging, which made a lot of sense. So when you look at your body, and unfortunately right now, the beauty industry and the nutrition industry is pushing inflammation as something bad. We need to draw the line here and explain what is bad and what is not bad. Inflammation, there are types of inflammation. There's acute inflammation, there's chronic inflammation, and there's inflammaging in between, okay? Acute inflammation is the one that keeps you alive. You don't die, okay? So acute inflammation, a bug comes in, a cut happens, a virus comes in, for example, COVID, right? All the first line of defense and the second line of defense gets activated, gets rid of the bug. So inflammation goes up, gets rid of the bug, and then it starts coming down and the repair mechanism starts. So this is a good thing. It keeps us alive. Without that, we'll be dead right now, actually. So chronic inflammation is a very high inflammation. It goes up, it stays up, it cannot turn down. It cannot turn off. So what happens then? it will start hurting your tissues. You can see this in cancer. You can see this in a lot of neurodegenerative diseases, autoimmune diseases. So it's a very clear signal of that something is wrong with your immune system. And it may start attacking back to you, as in an autoimmune disease. Inflammaging, however, can happen daily. Inflammaging is a micro, very low grade inflammation that's constantly on. But your life choices, very stressful life, even eating fast food, when I say life choices, that can all trigger that. So nobody is immune to inflammation. It can happen. So how does it show up on the skin, right? Because it's happening inside, it's silent, but it's working behind the scenes. With the chronic inflammation, you will see it right away. It will show up. You will see symptoms. You will break out, everything. But it's a really bad one. Inflammation is silent, and it works during time, over time. It's like the silent enemy working against you. So when you start seeing premature signs of aging on your skin, all of a sudden you're sensitive, you're looking more tired than usual, you're seeing more wrinkles all of a sudden, you're breaking out faster, redness, you're getting irritated faster. Now that is inflammation. But it's a good thing also, seeing all this on your skin, because that is the only way your body can talk to you and say, you gotta look in the mirror.
You got a problem.
Yeah, there's something wrong here. You gotta look in the mirror. Help me help you. Basically, that's saying that. And it's really nice. Amazing mechanism.
Well, I will say you're totally just hit on something that I find to be a problem. So I quit drinking. It's going to be 2 years in July. Yay me. And I know, right? And I noticed definitely my skin like did a 180. I do Botox, so that still keeps everything kind of at bay. But I will say that I know that a lot of people that do drink a lot or smoke or eat shit or whatever, or have high stress levels, when you do have a lot of this filler or Botox, you are kind of cutting the check engine light a little bit of what your face would tell you that, like, hey, you might want to cut back on the booze. You would know this if you didn't do treatments to get rid of the redness or get rid of the wrinkles and so on and so forth. So we are kind of cutting that check engine light of your body trying to talk to you. Can you speak on, like, when you see these kids with the acne where they get on the Accutane, are they also cutting a check engine light that says there's something going on with this kid's body and they have cystic acne, and you are getting rid of it with the 6-month-long, illegal in a lot of countries, pill, but we're ignoring what's causing the acne? Can you speak to that? Because I do know a lot of people, they put their kids on it as a last resort. They don't want to do it, but the kid's suffering. What about that?
I'm going to start with my personal experience.
Okay.
I was that Accutane kid. When I was growing up, we didn't have Accutane. But the closest thing was erythromycin. And my dad was a general surgeon and a transplant surgeon. And when the dermatologist said, we need to put her on erythromycin, he said, how many days? And he's like, we need to go maybe longer than 15 days. He said, no, you're not going to do that.
Oh, they wanted to put me on it for 90 days.
Oh, yeah. But basically, you need to do 15 and stop. You can't go longer, right? And he said, no. Why is this kid breaking out like this? Do we have PCOS? Do we have a hormone problem? Is it stress? Yes, my mom had acne. So sometimes it's genetic, right? I hope to God my daughter didn't get it. So, but he was like, no, there is a deeper problem here. And we're going to stop it. We can downregulate the hurting part with the erythromycin. We're going to stop it. So when I saw the Accutane and started reading it, it's a teratogenic agent, as you know. So what a teratogenic agent is if you get pregnant without knowing when you're using this, it's going to cause developmental problems with the fetus and the baby. So, how is this good for you? Like, I'm looking at the publications, I'm like, and like, you get so dry, so dry. And we got at the medical side of things, we got easy. We became easy. We want quick, easy solutions. I wish it was like that. Believe me, like we can solve it like that. I wish, but it's not like that. So everybody's body behaves differently. Like, for example, boys don't get as bad as cystic acne as girls, right? But they get it too. Why do they get it? Is there an hormonal issue going on? Is there a lifestyle issue going on? And if you don't address those, Accutane, yes, it's going to suppress it. But if you're continuing with this issue, let's say this boy is eating tons of fast food, let's say, tons of oily, like carbohydrates and fatty foods. How's that going to affect?
Right.
Like you're taking Accutane, yes, it's taking the symptoms down, but the problem, the root cause is here. What if it's a hormonal problem? What if this girl has a hormonal problem? Estrogen and progesterone are not balanced. If you don't look at this, you're not fixing this. You're just making the surface look pretty.
Well, and for me, it probably was estrogen related it wasn't bad when I was growing up, but still, like, it was any acne, as anyone would know, is for a kid is not fun. But then I went on to later have estrogen positive breast cancer. So maybe if we would have addressed whatever hormonal situation was going on as a teenager, it would have been addressed and handled and looked at. I think, like, I go have my physical every year. You get your blood test, you get your thyroid and all that stuff looked at. I had a company reach out to me, Function Health. They're actually in my link tree if anyone wants to check it out. And they did the plethora of blood tests. None of these blood tests have ever been ordered from me in my entire life. I came back, my DHEA was high. I came back, what was another one? Rheumatoid arthritis number came back high, which is, as you know, an inflammation issue. My thyroid is whacked out. All these numbers came back. Mind you, even with everything I'm telling you, the blood work still said I was 41.6 years old and I'm 52. So even with all the things that I would be like, oh my God, I'm dying tomorrow, it still said I was 11 years younger than my chronological age. My point being, do you think that Western medicine has gotten lazy or apathetic to finding cause when they have pretty sufficient ability with medication and surgery to just cut the check engine light and say you're cured?
It's not only Western, it's about insurance.
Right.
So you can't walk into a hospital in the United States, even if you have the best insurance, and say, I want to have a checkup from head to toe. Can we do that? And they're going to be like, no, we can't do that because it's going to, like, for example, the mammography age has been increased to 45, I think, higher than 45.
Which is insane.
Where we're seeing the breast cancer incidence dropping in age now, like, because it's cheaper. It's cheaper. And what happens to the people?
Oh, well.
A casualty, right? But in Europe, you can do that. They're Western medicine. In Europe, you can go to a hospital and say, hey, even private hospital, you can go and say, I want to check up head to toe, cancer markers, all the TSH, T3, all the thyroid, all everything. I do that. When I go to Turkey, my mom is there now. Yeah, she's retired there. And I walk into a private hospital. The first thing I go when I visit my mom, I'm like, blood test, MRI, ultrasound, from top to bottom, because you never know. Like, what's the point of having all this as a preventative measure? At the end of the day, if you end up like, oh, you have cancer. Oh, thanks. Why don't we have preventative medicine?
Yeah, I mean, like I read a bunch of stuff about the idea of preventative medicine, and it what the idea is that if you get sick, that's when you fire your doctor, because your doctor in a lot of cultures is meant to keep you well, not fix you once you're already sick. And we have that so backwards. I mean, like I said, they do the normal plethora of tests at my doctor's office, but the amount of dysfunction health, the blood tests, and then you can get your hormones tested for like $200. And yes, is it out of pocket? Yeah, but is it going to save you in the long run? What I found out with that DHEA number, I had been on metformin for weight loss for probably 3 years, just to try to help with insulin levels, and then you don't like crave sugar throughout the day, etc. It's like a mild weight loss drug, the way they were using it. Well, once I went through menopause, whatever happened, it was attacking my kidneys, which was affecting my adrenals, it seems. And that seems to be what was, and the DHEA number, that high DHEA number, which wasn't crazy, it was just higher, was a result possibly because of the metformin. No one knows this. No one said, hey, if you start getting anxiety symptoms, it could be the metformin, you might have to pull back. But no one talks about it. It's just like, you'll be fine. It's a safe and harmless drug, which it is safe. And I could still take probably 500 milligrams, not 2000. But yeah, like it's just, you kind of feel out here on your own with medicine these days. It just, and like the fact that you're an immunologist, my son was born with a tracheoesophageal fistula, my oldest. And so he had to go through lots of immunology things because he would get like pneumonias all the time and this, that, and the other. And when he went in for testing, they found out that basically 60% of his childhood vaccines just didn't work anymore. And he had to be boosted, which was crazy. Like they were able to test to see that like his pneumonia vaccine was.
You can look at the antibody levels. That's probably they did. Yeah. Some stuff like that declines in time, and like these vaccines, they're great. I mean, it keeps us alive. For example, polio. Do you remember that steel lung thing?
There's still one guy living in a steel lung. Did you know that?
Did he die? I remember that.
Did he die?
I think he passed away. Yeah, because if he got out, but still, is that a life? It's not a life,
I think he went to like law school or something from the steel lung.
Amazing.
But yeah, like, vaccines, all my kids are vaccinated. I'm just saying my oldest, for whatever reason, but once he got boosted, he stopped getting all the pneumonias and the bronchitises and all that stuff once we figured out. So I am all like, if you have something wrong with you, I say go to an immunologist, because it's amazing, like the way that they look at the body versus the rest of the world, which is why when I got your information from your team, I was like, oh, I am all on board with immunologist plus skincare plus, aging plus, because you're looking at, the way I see it is an immunologist just looks at the body from such a different lens than maybe a regular primary care or a scientist even. Like you're looking at all of it.
Yeah. The thing is, so when I look at my dad's training, so he passed away 4 years ago, but he's from that Frank Sinatra era, okay? They didn't have all these tests, so it was a lot of touching, looking at the skin, looking at the eyes, even like pinching the skin and saying, okay, you're dehydrated, that kind of thing. And a good doctor would feel. It becomes a gut feeling. He would say, I can feel him, As a scientist, when I do my experiments, I can feel it. Call it a culmination of information in your mind, and your brain processes it faster than you can think it, and then it becomes a feeling. But now we have all these tests, and everybody's so compartmentalized and saying, I only do this. But the older doctors had to look at the bigger picture. They would like pull out your eye. It's like, okay, this is too yellow. Maybe you're iron deficient. Maybe this is what's happening. Da, 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 da. So they had to combine everything to see the bigger picture. Now we're only looking at this little picture, but there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. I mean, we do not have the luxury just to look at this. Go to endocrinology, for example. You're getting your tests, okay? Let's say your TSH is low or high. Where are you going to go next? Right?
Yeah.
Why is it high or low? Is it a genetic aspect? Is it a hormonal aspect? What is going on? So, yes, it's great to go to the specialist, but a specialist to me, and that's what I saw from my mom and from my dad. I mean, she was a pathologist / oncologist. She did even autopsies on criminology, believe me. She did it all. But that generation had to do everything because there wasn't enough people, one. There wasn't the luxury of compartmentalizing. And that's how they've been trained, you know? But it gave them power and seeing the big picture, saying, there could be something wrong here. Maybe you should go to cardiology. Or it was like, oh, maybe you should go this. This is falling out of my scope, but you need to go to here. I think we lost that. We became numbers. And that's why I like combining the information I get from immunology, molecular medicine, with skincare. And every day there's new papers coming out on PubMed. I love seeing the new publications, the new research. I'm like, oh, that's so nice. You know, you can't take the science out of a girl. That's it.
Which is good. Like, so I saw not only do you have skincare, which I saw one of your skincare items has caviar in it.
It's green caviar. It's not real caviar. So it's also called sea grapes. It's like this little algae, but it looks like sea grapes.
Okay.
And because it's so round and green and transparent, they also call it green caviar. That's why we call that. So
Yeah.
it's amazing. It's amazing.
And then you have some, can you talk about a few things? One is your skincare line. Like, is it for everybody? Is it for oily skin? Is it for acne prone? Is it for old people? Like, how did your skincare, like, how did you come up with it?
First of all, there's no old people. We're calling them classic because I'm starting to go in that realm. We're becoming like wine. We're becoming classic. So let's do it that way. So it's for everybody. Okay. And there's only 6 products. And here's why. They're multitasking, multi-targeting. As you can remember from COVID, when we had our masks on, we were breaking out and our skin was getting irritated. What does that tell you? Especially the sides that was touching, right? Your face doesn't like to be touched a lot. And like if I poke you 5 times, you're going to slap me in the face, right? Same thing. Same thing with the skin. It will break out. It will tell you, don't touch me. So now we have all these TikTok trends and, K-beauty trends, 10-step, 20-step. It looks great for a couple days, but eventually it's going to break out because you are disturbing the skin microbiome, the skin barrier, and at the end, the skin immune responses, because it's going to say, okay, this is too much. Stop touching me,
Yeah.
So that's why we have 6 products, 1 cleanser, 1 serum, 1 oil, 1 cream, 1 mask. So you can decide what you need. That's another thing. And also, I don't believe in one hero product. We combine all the ingredients that work together, not against each other and not against your skin. So you can get the best and the most concentrated version you need. At the end of the day, you don't have to slap a huge dollop of the cream or the serum. You just need a tiny bit, which makes it cost efficient per drop, by the way. So why is it for everybody? Because, for example, I'm oily skin. Let's say you're dry skin, right? If I'm oily skin, I'm gonna know how much cream I need to put on my face. So I can put a little bit. And I can use the oil at night. I can use the serum during the day. But if you're overly dry, your skin is going to say, I need a little bit more oil here. Then you'll use the oil. So we're leaving that. Your skin is intelligent enough. Unfortunately, beauty industry says, oh, you don't need this. You need this. You need this. And behave like people's IQ is lower than 10. Okay? No. People are smart. Skin is even smarter. It knows what it wants. The moment you put it on, if it's happy, you'll know it's happy. If it doesn't like it, it's gonna turn red. So that's why multitasking, multi-targeting. And we didn't put the money into packaging our glass. We have black glass and it's recyclable, but it's not colorful. And there's a reason for that. Because kids are very drawn to very colorful packaging like Drunk Elephant. And unfortunately, that hurts their skin. And that's one of the biggest problems dermatologists are dealing today because their whole skin microbiome has gone out of whack. You know? These are for people 25 and above. And I always say this, I would never push this on a teenager. Never. So we need to be ethical and careful. So that's what the skincare is. We also have devices. You probably saw those.
Yep.
The UV shield analyzer for to see if the sunscreen works, if you removed it correctly. And now we also have a new device that just came out 2 days ago, Anka Face and Body Treatment System. So what that is there's a lot of LED light equipment out there, and I tried most of them, and they're like shiny little red devices, and some of them call themselves laser. I'm like, those are not lasers, but it's good marketing. It's great marketing. So what we came up with a multifunctional device, because again, nobody is rich enough to buy cheap products and a lot of products, because if you buy a product for face and product for body,
Yeah.
it's going to sit on the shelves. It's possible to combine them both in one product. So that's what we did. It has 3 LED lights, red, blue, and pink. We use the red on the face. You can use it on the body too. Red is for anti-aging. Blue mostly works on anti-acne. And pink is combination. For the face, we use level 1. And for the body, level 1 to level 5. 5 is being the highest radio frequency, EMS, and ultrasound. So, and we also have the gels for it because you need a conductive gel to transfer that light and the RF. So the face gel has anti-aging, niacinamide, all that. So when you're using it, if you don't want to clean it out afterwards, I keep it on. I like it. It has hyaluronic acid. The body has tightening ingredients because it works great on the tummy, because it is when you give birth, it's harder to lose the weight, and when you're in menopause, it's even harder. So you need a little bit help, and none of us is rich enough to go to the dermatologist to get all those fancy treatments. We're bringing the spa in the house with this.
Yeah.
And it works. If you go on Instagram, I just placed a video myself. You can see one side of my face is going up like that. So you can definitely see the difference.
Well, I have 2 family members that were dealing with acne, and I did tell them to use one of those light masks with the blue, because when if I start breaking out, I do the blue, and boy, you will literally wake up a new person. At least myself and these 2 people that I sent it to. It just gets rid of that under the skin bacteria. So if you're dealing with a lot of the acne and all of that stuff, that blue light therapy is life-changing.
Oh yeah. And this device is like a workout for your face, right? The radio frequency and the ultrasound and EMS. So what it does is contract the muscles. So you could go all the workout you want for the body, but we cannot work out the face. I mean, who's going to do the yoga every day? You're going to forget it. That was one of the things of gua sha, right? Pushing it up, make it work. But this one actually contracts it and works. So that's why it's like going to the gym for your face.
Yeah.
Because this sags. Maybe you're not wrinkling, but we sag. It's gravity. What are you going to do?
Trust me, I could see it right here when I do my videos here. I'm like, what is this?
I know. I have the same problem. It happens. It's gravity. It's great. But there's a way to fix this. Because when I talk to my dad, it's like, Dad, I'm going to get old. What would you suggest? Well, at the end of the day, because, there is these new like spider webs. They put it in the face, but it's too dangerous. So they put it in, it pulls it out, but it's good for maybe 6 months.
Oh
So
no.
yeah, and you may cut the nerve here. Your face could get paralyzed. You don't want any of that. So we were talking about that with my dad, and he said, at the end of the day, still a good old plastic surgery is the best option if you want it lifted up. But
Yeah.
until you get to that point, he said, take care of your face, do everything preventative, and take care of your facial muscles as well. Because even during regular surgery, let's say you go to surgery, back surgery, and a surgeon might say, and if you have a very sedentary life, you don't have good muscles, they may say, go home, get those back muscles a little bit stronger because I'm going to need those for you to get better.
Yeah.
Same thing with the plastic surgery. Even if you do a deep facial lift where they're lifting the muscle, if your muscle quality is not good, it may look good for a couple days, but are you going to have problems? You don't know. So that's the whole deal with the skincare. You take care of your face, your skin quality. And then with a device like this, the Anka device, you take care of your muscle strength, your facial resilience, let's call it. And then in the future, if you want to have a plastic surgery, at least you have a good canvas to start with. That's how I look at things.
Yeah, totally. Well, and what I'm seeing on social media is we're either going in too much drying out, or like you said, 10, 20 products filling up the skin. It's just like, and for me, my biggest problem is I don't know what to put on first or second. Like, I'm Gen X. Like, these kids, I feel like my 16-year-old and 26, they're like, first you do this and then you put on that. And I'm just like, I don't even know where to start. Is there a plan for your 6 products and how to put that on my face so I'm
Sure.
not putting on one before the, yada?
Okay, let's start with the morning. So morning you got up, right? So depending if you, let's say you put a product at night, I would recommend a very light cleanser, you know. Oh, by the way, cleanser don't have to foam. Like we have that mistake. And don't wash your face with soap because it's going to change your skin pH. Even for a second, it's gonna. So you want a
Okay.
pH balance. So we start with a cleanser, right? And let's say it's summer. And do you have oily skin or dry skin?
I don't even know anymore.
Mixed?
Probably a mixture
Okay.
to oily, mixed to oily.
Okay, let's say combination. So if you're going out that day, and if it's really hot, I would start with the serum, which is water based, aloe vera based, and then put a little bit on, let it dry, and then put a really tiny drop of the cream for moisturizing, and put your sunscreen on and leave for the day. Okay, but
So
when you
3
come,
products. I
three
can do
products.
3 products.
Yes,
I can do
yes.
that. That's
With this
easy.
one, because it's time, it doesn't consume your time. You're not spending a lot, and then you're not putting too much pressure on your skin. Just give what it needs. You don't need to give much. And
Mhm.
plus, on top of it, if you're doing makeup, you're going to have another layer, anyways, right? Okay, you come back home. Now we have to cleanse. You cleanse your face, very nicely with upward motions. If you want to use the device to have an extra lift, you can do that after cleansing. When your face is dry, you put the gel, you do your 5 minutes on one side, 5 minutes on your side, and it's just nice and lifted. Let's say you did that. Then, if you feel dry, too dry, you can start putting the oil, a little bit of oil, massage your face upwards. Always go upwards against the gravity. We're working against the gravity. And then put your eye cream on. Oh, during the day, you can put your eye cream on too, depending. It works great under concealer. So put your eye cream on. But what I like about the eye cream, they always say put it around the orbital bone, right? You can put it between your eyebrows, whatever's remaining, and also the temples. Go like a big rectangle. Big
Okay.
rectangle. Don't stop here. I mean, you have it in your fingers. Just, use
Right.
the remaining. Much cost effective, and it has really good ingredients. Because your eye doesn't stop here, it goes down to the temple, right? Because you're squinting. Crow. I always call that squinty thing. They say crow feet, but I like
Smiling.
duck. I call it duck feet. I think it's cuter. you know? So you do that. So you cleanse your face, did your device, put your eye cream. If you want, put your oil or your serum, depending how you feel. And then finish with a nice layer of cream. You're done. Done.
Yeah.
Oh, don't forget the neck.
And the
Always
neck.
treat the neck. Always treat the upward motions. Like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and then you're done. And then go to sleep. That's it.
And I also, so you've been featured in Glamour magazine and InStyle.
Mm-hmm.
And I also read that you do not do any animal testing.
We don't. We don't need to. Not anymore. That's very 70s.
Well, I mean, when you're testing out full on
It's
chemicals,
tested on husbands. It's tested on husbands
it's a husband tested approved. But yeah,
and
I mean,
colleagues.
if you think
And
about it,
me.
like if you're putting this on your skin and it's like natural and it's good stuff, why do we need to test it on animals? Like, unless it's full on bullshit chemicals that are going to possibly hurt you. If it's good
Well,
stuff.
that was a thing in the 70s, and that was a procedure in the 70s. China still requires animal testing, by the way. However, the skincare ingredients and actives have come a long way, and suppliers now know, based on that old information, that this is not needed anymore.
Good.
So that's
Yeah.
a good thing. Another thing is, I want to underline something. Not everything natural is good. Not everything synthetic or chemical is bad. Water is chemical, for that matter.
True.
So I don't believe in the fear mongering in the industry, especially what the influencers are doing. Don't use this; it's a chemical. You're a chemical. You're formed of chemicals. You're taking magnesium every day. That's a chemical, you know.
True.
But natural, sometimes it doesn't work. Arsenic is natural. Some people have allergies to chamomile or shea butter, you know? So people who have latex allergies can't use shea. They can't. They get allergies. That's natural. Wow. So know your body. Know your body. Like, listen to your body. Listen to your body, because it's going to tell you, I like this, use this. I don't like this, don't use this. Yeah. Everybody's personalized.
And pay attention. If you're having a situation, your body might not like that. I think that people do miss that step in life. Is I'm having a bad result from XYZ, and they don't pay attention, or they think it's a fluke, or they think it must have been something else. My son, he's famous. He's completely allergic to red dye. Completely.
Okay.
But just cannot help himself. Like, he loves like the Doritos and the candy. And we're always like, bro, you're going to make yourself sick. And every time he gets sick, but he ignores it. But I think that a lot of us do ignore the signals, because our body is always talking to us. It's talking to us through our skin. Our skin is like, there's 3 ways, at least I've been taught, that to detox: pee, poop, and skin. Mm-hmm. And so when you see these things going on with your skin, I know for myself, like I just had surgery a few weeks ago, and I'm still seeing the results of all of the medicine coming out of me. Like, I can see I broke out on my face yesterday, and I'm like, it's still coming out of my body, even though it's been a couple weeks. Just, I never take Tylenol. I never take Advil. I never take those. So for my body to be taking all of that was weird. And so there was a reaction from it. And mm-hmm. So I think that it's like so on point to pay attention to those things. This is going to help with the inflammaging, but you also have to pay attention to eating fast food, eating seed oils, or, junk food, or pop, or alcohol, or whatever. Your body is talking to you. Like, yeah. Yes, you can put a cream on it. Yes, we can put red light therapy, but also pay attention that your body might just not like the way you're treating it from the inside out.
Oh, yeah. In anything that's inside, if it's showing out, your immune system tries to deal with it without showing you. That's its main duty. It's like your SWAT team trying to put down the fires and everything. But sometimes it cannot. It needs an extra help. It starts showing up. So with that, don't freak out. It's not a bad thing. It is a good thing for you to take precautions. But if you're not taking the precautions, it's going to get bad. Yeah. Then it's a problem. So everything is in your hands. You have full control.
Yeah.
Full control. And
So
then
good.
you go from there. I mean, and also you can tell your doctor, I'm experiencing this. Because after all, they're human as well. They're dealing with tons of patients. You know, you need to tell them, it's like, this is what I'm experiencing. This is what my body doesn't like. Can you help me here? What does this mean? Ask nicely, be nice. You know, they go through a lot, but they'll try to help you. But you need to ask the question.
And show up honestly. Yeah, I drink 7 days a week. Yeah, I eat Burger King or McDonald's 6 days a week, whatever.
Yeah.
You need to be honest and say, no, I don't eat real food. And they'll be able to say, okay, like now we're talking, if you walk in and you're like, I eat healthy, I work out all the time, and that's not the case, and I have all of these horrible symptoms, they're going to be like, wait, there must be some. But if you say, oh, well, we just need to fix your diet a little bit, when you're honest with it, it does make a huge difference.
It does.
So your website is Avecena, which is AVE like Avenue, and then SEENA. So avecena.com. You
Yes.
can make an appointment with Dr. Ebru to speak with her, to actually have her talk you through what may or may not be needed as far as her products and everything like that goes. She will talk to you. Like, you can get an appointment with her. I'm not even kidding. Like, this is a real thing with a company's founder and CEO. And she will help you to find the right products for your skin type and for what you're dealing with.
Oh, yeah.
And if she doesn't have it, she's going to try to steer you in the right direction as well, which I love.
Exactly. And with the Anka device, when you purchase that, you get the 2 gels for free. And then I personally get online and show it to you, all the great tricks and everything on my face, and we can do it together, because I believe doing the right thing will make the difference. Because some people go down this way, like, no, you should go up, and there's a way to do that. So I like teaching. I like sharing.
And I think you had a 15% off when I went on the website too that popped up.
Yes. If they sign up for the newsletter, yes. And also, if you purchase the Natural Discovery Kit, you get automatically a coupon that makes that kit nearly free. So when you purchase a new product from the website. The reason I like that kit is because you can't find us outside in a store, but you want to try it, but you're not sure, just purchase the kit, try it. And if you want to continue, you get another 15% off, and makes that kit for free.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so the only place they can find you, not on, so if you find your products on Amazon, that is not you.
No, it's us. It's
Oh,
us.
you are on Amazon?
Yes.
Okay, so you're available on Amazon, but with on avecena.com, there's the coupon 15% off.
Yes, and with avecena.com, you get the free shipping, and then gifts and luxury packaging, all that. You get the full high-end treatment.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for being on and sharing all of your knowledge. The daughter of 2 doctors, I can't imagine the pressure.
Oh, yeah, it was fun. I could never get sick and skip school. That wasn't fun.
They're like, nope, we know exactly what's wrong with you. And yeah.
Yeah, they were like, there are people in the hospital with cancer. You just have laryngitis. I'm like, I'm dying.
Oh my God, I love that so much. Well, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Go check out AVESEENA.com. Get an appointment with Dr. Ebru. Get your 15% off. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out some very, one-stop shop, 6 products, a few great devices, and stop the insanity of purchasing and purchasing and purchasing stuff that is not working necessarily for you. She will help you out. So thanks for being here with us today. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. See you guys here next week. Thanks for listening. If you would like to connect on a more personal level, head over to meredythwillits.com or on Instagram at Meredyth with a Y for behind-the-scene footage and outtakes. Please subscribe and come back each week for more Meredyth with a Y. Thanks again for listening. Cheers.